Hi everybody and welcome to the Jane Lab 365 Healthy by Choice live event. This evening we have a really nice lineup. We're going to be talking about emotional stress and happiness, and I was just a few minutes late because I was getting the Facebook people connected, and I see some of you there too, and I also see some of you coming through as well, which is fantastic and always an honor to have all my friends and clients and business associates and everybody joining us. So I'm just going to move the Facebook, just going to say hi to the Facebook people and then go back again to the slide. Okay, so you should be seeing all that. Let me just see what happened here. I think for some reason there. All right, that's it. Sorry about this. Let me just get it straight without falling. Okay, there we go. So we're all set, and we're going to have a fantastic time tonight talking about my favorite topic. Two of my favorite topics, right? Because we've got stress, devastation, despair on the one side, and we've got happiness, joy, peace, abundance on the other. And as humans, we have the choice, but I think ultimately we want to move towards the middle road. In other words, there's fear and there's courage. And moving into the middle of that space is really the love and the freedom and the joy that we're looking for. So with that as a framework, we're going to begin. And, you know, what can I say? Happiness and joy and freedom are really, really high, very high vibrational states that we're aspiring to. But where we're sitting with a kind of a wheel. And that wheel is made up of very many dimensions. For example, our social interaction, our academic world, our environmental world, our health world, emotional world, stress level world, our relationship world, and financial world. So there's lots of worlds that are all interactive and interrelated and interdependent from a quantum perspective. And for some people, the finances might be fine. Some people, the social interaction might be fine. Other people, the home is good. Other people, the academic stimulation is great. But there might be others that are a little bit out of alignment. So if we've got this wheel, and the more in alignment we can get, all the different little factors and dimensions that contribute towards health, happiness, abundance, joy, and transcendence, that wheel is vibrating and circling in an equal rhythm. We can then spiral up to reach a much higher order, which we're aiming for. So sometimes like I said, we're good in, let's say, 7 out of the 8 spaces, but the one is really, really pulling us down. Let's say relationships, or let's say huge, big emotional burdens are holding us back. So the rest are in alignment, perfect. But there's 1 or 2 that are holding us back. So we need to, first of all, identify what those are, and then be in a position to surrender to certain things that are holding us back, that, you know, that it appears as a crutch. For example, get everything into alignment, and then we can really work on ascending to higher levels. So, you know, that's also, as I say, a framework to work towards. But the first realization and awareness space is to be aware of our space. And it's not always easy, and we really do try and stuff it down as well. And when we stuff all of this down, we can't really achieve and establish and attain levels of happiness all the time, because every now and then there are little reminders of that long playing record that's been playing and playing and playing and playing on an emotional side, things causing us stress, discomfort, delusion, abandonment, all of those things. So we've got to work out, first of all, what they are. And then we've got to work on establishing that balance. And surrendering, I'm going to give you some techniques in a moment to look at, absolutely surrendering and then moving towards a more peaceful, happy, serene, calm space. I'm going to give you a live example. I'm going to give you also some tools. I'm going to show you what we use at 365 Healthy by Choice in terms of our quantum medicine devices, our time crystal devices, our products. And as usual, I hope I give you a lot. I hope you take away a lot and share, because it is really about sharing everything that we doing all of this to grow the family and grow the awareness, because awareness is always the starting point to everything. So I have you all here, and there's one more thing I could just do. Maybe I could hold this. It's just making a little bit of a there, that looks a lot better. I'm just getting the view right for the Facebook people. There. Now I think we have it. Okay, so let's have a look at some of the slides that I have prepared for you as well. And then I'll interject it with information and so on. So we're looking at, two sides of a coin. And what we're really, really aiming here for is looking first of all at the symptom causes of disease, stress, unhappiness. And the point here is that there's this long playing record that's right underneath, full of all the underlying causes. And right now, I think we could really just purge this whole lot up. I'm finding really, really amazing improvements in people. Very quick shifts, energetically higher vibrations happening spontaneously as well. And it's really, really encouraging, because someone like me has been waiting for years for these kind of things to happen. So it's just really, really superb timing. So let's, I think, get a piece of paper, and as I'm talking, start writing notes about what you feel your underlying causes of stress and unhappiness are. And write all of that on the left-hand side of your page, because leave it a part on the right-hand side or another page where we're going to be writing what is serving us. So on the left hand we're going to be writing what's not serving us, the negative patterns, the old paradigm stuff, the things that we've been holding on, the story we've been telling everyone about ourselves our whole life. I'm going to write all of that down on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side, we're going to be saying what we're taking with us. So really start writing down the incidences, that all the things on that long playing record. Please. All right. So one of the main symptoms and causes of stress and unhappiness would be our food. And we've talked about this a lot. Hippocrates said our food is our medicine and our medicine is our food. And I've listed a whole lot of points there, which comprise food, nourishment, nutrition. It's not just the obvious plate of food, because consciousness, cosmic microwave radiation, the constant 24/7 filtering down of microwaves, and also cosmic dust. What do I mean by that? For example, medicinal mushrooms, the spores from medicinal mushroom that grows off the big trunk of a tree, the rishis, the shagas, shiitakes, etc., come in from intergalactic space. They are part of the cosmic dust, as well as minerals. So don't, underestimate that. That is very, very, very high vibrational life force. Sunlight, protons is next. Very, very, very fast spinning atoms, very tightly bound to the proton and the nucleus. Very, very, that is our next more physical measurement of nutrition. The air, our oxygen that we're breathing, is nourishment. The water is nourishment. The earth will nourish us. It's full of electrons as well that neutralize all the positive charge in the body. So therefore it's nutrients as well. Some of you might not have really put this together, but here it is. Sound is a nourishment for the body. The electroceuticals that Professor Desiree Dubonnet produces are nutrients. The nature elements, nature speaks to us. It's full of life, full of elements that also will feed us. Plant photosynthesis, when the plant takes on the sunlight protons and via photosynthesis produces glucose and oxygen for humans. Animals are a source of food. Relationships are a source of food, because whatever we're talking about now is life force and energy exchange. Electron spin. Okay, some people got a good electron spin and you can bounce off each other. Other people drain you. Other people pick you up. So it all depends on that wheel that, and is it emotional, academic, environmental, relationships, health, what's out of place. Different people will come into your life at different times to help you rebalance, but they will be almost mirror images. The healing and the shifting is happening within you. Yes, you can go and see certain people and you can get advice. They can be catalysts and so on, but the ultimate shift, from emotional stress and unhappiness to happiness, success, abundance, and joy is a within decision, and it can happen in a heartbeat. So people like myself are catalysts, as far as I can see. We educators, and the healing's within you. Hippocrates also, physician, heal thyself. So also your vocation, now that's completely different to a job. A job is something you're doing where you're serving someone else. You're serving the company or the owner. A vocation is where you've married your purpose in life with what you do, what earns you an income and happiness, and there you are serving yourself. Very big difference between a job and a vocation. And I want you to start writing notes now as I'm talking. What's coming with you on the right-hand side and what you're leaving behind on the left. So, for example, we can be leaving behind processed, sugary, white starch foods, but we're going to be taking on life force, berries, avos, strawberries, kiwi fruit, carrots, that kind of stuff we're taking with us. What we're leaving behind, we're leaving behind. It's no longer serving us because it's contributing to stress and unhappiness and the body not functioning properly, the head not thinking clearly and living productively. And then also brain stimulation. So that's what I was saying, your academic stimulation, your conversation stimulation. Have you got enough neurotransmitters, the serotonin, dopamine, GABA, PEA? Is the pineal gland active? Is it vibrating? Is the battery turned on? These are all brain functions. Similarly, is your heart in good nick? Is your gut working optimally? And then, of course, sleep. So sleep is also critical to regeneration, renewal of the nervous system, the immune system. And, as I say, this is nourishment. We do need to get this right. We do need to feed ourselves high vibrational foods that are full of life force. Otherwise, what will happen is we will just cycle downwards and we will degenerate as opposed to regenerate. So anti-aging is eating life force foods. Simple, very sweet, very simple. All right. So let's have a look now at the next slide where I'm talking about, nutritional deficiencies. When the battery's flat, you've got no capacity. If you consider your science lessons where you had a beaker of water, 2 electrodes in it, and then a mineral chemical solution in the beaker, and you turned on the electrical plug, you plugged it in and did the battery charge. Same as us, we're exactly that. We have electrodes. And we have our body, which is 80% water, which needs minerals. So we need to charge this battery and we need to bring the minerals in. And most people are walking around in a hypoadrenal state. The adrenals are under-functioning, and there's a lot of stress. And these are the people that, by the way, are just about 9 times out of 10, the ones who end up in hospital with COVID and related. So we've got to take note here. What you're doing at that very precise moment, 24/7, is this charging my body or discharging my body? Is it bringing in life force, or is it degenerating me? Is it taking my energy from me? And I think that's a kind of the mind space we need to be in. And we need proteins, we need long-chain sugars. The long-chain sugars are not sweet. You find them in medicinal mushrooms, algae, blue-green algae, pollen. We need the right minerals, as I said already. Magnesium, potassium, zinc. These are all minerals that play a very big part in the charge of the body, the electromagnetic charge. Vitamins and enzymes, very important for all the metabolic functions in the body. Phytonutrients, all your antioxidants, and of course oxygen itself. A lack of oxygen is a huge nutritional deficiency, and probably the overriding deficiency of everything we've talked about right now. First thing we do is take a breath of air, and the last thing we do is breathe it out. So let's have a look at stress and see what it's caused, what causes the stress. Could be the lockdown, money, your job, your relationships, your children, your parents, your spouse, your studies, pain. Pain is just a wake-up call, something knocking and saying to you, hey, there needs to be a shift. Also things like, what did I write there? Emotions and so on. Those are all the things that are going to cause us stress. So you can start writing these things. If any of these relate to you, then you can write them down on the left-hand side of the page. And then you can always write down on the right-hand side the opposite of these. So in terms of removing stress, the Nelson Healing and Dr. Selle methodology, remove the cause and restore homeostasis to the body. Stress and stresses are the #1 cause of illness. Poor breathing, not relaxing, the release of stress hormones, the adrenaline, the cortisol. What happens is you get a release of adrenaline and cortisol. Anything that causes a stress in the body will send a chemical message up by the blood to the hypothalamus, pineal, and pituitary gland. And then from there, we get a chemical messenger that comes down the blood again to the adrenals. And from there, it's dictated how much adrenaline and cortisol are released. And very simply, in a nutshell. And then they travel in the blood and go to every single cell. And they knock on the door of every single cell, sometimes 24/7. What it should be is that, let's say we get a fright, a close car accident. We got a huge fright. The heartbeat increased, the breathing increased, the blood started circulating more. And then we never had the accident, so everything goes back into place. But the long-term ongoing stress, the continual, that long playing record that continues and continues and continues, that's where you're getting the stress and the adrenaline hitting on every single cell 24/7, reducing the immune system. And then you're going to have even lower immunity, and you're going to be even more stressed and prone to diseases. So that's why you see this parallel between the people that are ending up on ventilators and the people that aren't. Stress is the underlying, and hypoadrenals is the underlying. I'm going to show you some examples in a moment. Every single one of them has got a flat adrenal. And the ones that I know that are going to come out of the ICU are the ones that are strong, that don't have that hypoadrenal. They're sitting there with a hypoadrenia. It's it's almost impossible to recharge that battery when they're in that state. Because when they're in the ICU with hypoadrenia and generally low cell vitality, the cell can't even take the oxygen in. So they'll pump oxygen into the bloodstream. They'll get it as much of the cold oxygen through the lungs as possible. So they'll raise that blood saturation level, but that's artificial, because at the end of the day, each cell needs to take the oxygen in, and if they don't have the cell vitality, which is linked to your capacity, your charge, and many other things, the minute they reduce that oxygen the minute they take the oxygen away a little bit, the blood saturation drops straight away, and the cells start degenerating, and you start getting organ degeneration. So it's very, very important that we understand this part of health. We can't be walking around stressed with adrenals 24/7. We've got to relax, and we can measure all of this on our quantum devices. Overstimulation of the immune system, and we get this disease cascade starting to happen in the digestion, the blood sugar, the blood circulation, the heart, the bones, neurological, the sensory nervous system, hormonal imbalances, metabolic shutdown, acidosis in the body, pain and inflammation. So all of these are really manifestations of stress, the body completely being out of balance, and low adrenal, low immunity, toxicity and parasites. When we throw that into the barrel as well, as I said, those people in the ICUs with low adrenals, with high toxicity levels, that's where the big problem is. So when we start filling this big barrel with all these sorts of toxins, it just weighs us down. And you know what? These toxins and parasites all carry with them an emotional shell. It could be depression, it could be self-delusion, it could be anxiety, it could be rejection, abandonment, and dissatisfaction, etc. So they need to go, because they're going to be then on the other end of the scale, weighing the scale down in terms of us ultimately achieving our happiness, what we're wanting to achieve. So all these things need to go out. Allopathic, synthetic medicines as well. There is no life force. So if we spiral down and we're operating on such a low battery, we've got to then start winding ourselves up. So I would be putting lots of things on the right hand side of my page right now. All right, there's oxygen, some information on oxygen. There's various sources of oxygen, and there's some that are more appropriate than others, and some that harm the body, and some that are good for the body. So the air we breathe is obviously natural. It's got a charge of 1.3 volts. And there's lots of ways to breathe. Obviously, our normal breathing, our posture is very important. But we can also do alternative nostril breathing. We can do the Wim Hof methods of oxygen to get more and more oxygen into our bodies, improve the lung capacity. Exercise will do that too. Then we've got a magnesium dioxide, which is a cell oxygen, which we have with 365 Healthy by Choice. It's a capsule. And when you swallow that, the magnesium splits off from the oxygen. Magnesium's lovely, it's calming. And the oxygen by osmosis goes through into the bloodstream and is carried to the cells. We also have hydrogen peroxide, and that's also a little bit controversial in terms of the charge of that oxygen molecule. Then we also have oxygen activation in the body, and this is good because enzymes will do that. Many of them are the B vitamins, by the way, and then you'll find them in also things like superfoods like bee pollen roll jelly. And we also get herbs. So we have our supercell oxygen, which has got things like Siberian ginseng, cordyceps, bacopa, gochicola, and turmeric, those kind of foods that actually assist the body in utilizing oxygen, because utilization is better and more important than actual blood oxygen levels. We have to look at the cell's ability to use the oxygen. This is where we come in, where we start with people where we reset, restore, rejuvenate. Reset, restore, rejuvenate. It's about a 3-month process where people go through. And it's all sequentially sort of programmed per individual. Some people, because of history, because they might have historically, lung problems, It could be smoking, it could be growing up on a mine, it could be just generally lacking oxygen transfer enzyme. We need to bring in and stimulate the utilization of oxygen. We can do that directly with oxygen and also through the herbal means, and obviously through proper breathing. That's number one. That's the right way to do it. And then MSM and also DMSO. MSM is the solid form, DMSO is the liquid form. And it's got lots of sulfur for detoxification, but MSM will increase oxygen utilization. DMSO will have that oxygen splitting off it as well. So I talked about the cell vitality in the membrane. We also have ozone, O3. Now the charge of ozone in O3 is 2.5 volts. All right, that's really, really harsh. It's a lot. It's not discriminating. And so you will get unhealthy and healthy cells being damaged. And then we have the hyperbaric chamber. And that's also, when the divers go through that toxicity where they stay underneath the water for too long, they need to go into a hyperbaric chamber to bring the oxygen back into the body. So it's a high pressure chamber which will oxygenate the body. And then we have the chlorine dioxide molecule, very, very special molecule. The charge is 0.95 millivolts, really tiny. And that oxygen molecule will only remove the harmful, wrongly charged matter in the body, regardless of what it is, and leaves the healthy cells alone, enabling them to regenerate and renew themselves, and corrects cell division. So that just gives you an idea of oxygen. It's a free radical scavenger. It's corrosive. It will pull the electron envelope off all the free radical wrongly charged matter in the body. And that's our preference, apart from breathing. Okay. So now, why am I going through all of this? Because all of these things need to happen synchronistically and in a natural order for us to be able to de-stress ourselves and remove the things that are causing us unhappiness, and even identify them and then move into the happy, joyful, peaceful, steady state. Okay, so also with pain, as I said to you earlier, pain is a wake-up call. And it's indicating a resistance in the body. It's indicating blockage of electron flow. And, we get an inner and an outer pain, that's for sure. So it can be a physical accident, neurological pain, constant rationalization, worry, anxiety. You don't see it. You actually don't see somebody. You can sense there's neurological, you can sense the rationalization because they talk very fast and they keep talking and they keep talking and they over-rationalize and they repeat what they've told you. That's pain. That's actually pain. Full of worry, full of anxiety. Emotions too, the body speaks the mind. We have an etheric emotional body, and if that's blocked, then the soul can't come straight through to the body. It's got to come roundabout, and it avoids the etheric body, and that's when pain happens. We also get spiritual pain, and that will be in the form of not being true to our purpose, not following our vocation, serving other people. It's going to take all the energy from you. It's going to make you feel very unhappy, and pain and discomfort and dis-ease will rear its head. Tension and stress, as seen in muscle tension, spasms, nerve pain, connecting the brain to muscle, spasms, limiting blood flow, oxygen deprived, and we get pain. So just to start writing on your piece, that pain, that niggle, that lower back pain, that headache, that pain in the elbow, pain in the stomach, right, pain in the heart, wherever it might be, write it down. We need to investigate it. We need to pull it out, examine it, look at it from all angles and say, well, you know what, thanks for coming. I'm now surrendering you as a result of that incident in my life, which could well be according to universal plan and soul development. Thanks for that happening. I am now more resilient. I'm actually more happy. I feel more self-accomplishment. I'm no longer a victim. I learned to stand up. I understood who I am. All these little incidences, you can call them little tsunamis, and they're coming at us at a massive rate at the moment, like really, really pushing us to surrender and move into the new realm, move from the left-hand side of the page into the right-hand side of the page, okay? So we've got to look at these things objectively. We put the picture there. You can put the movie up on your screen in front of you. What happened when I was a little girl, 3 years old? My mother was drinking, and she took me into the worst ghettos. And I had to walk around and fend for myself, and someone gave me a piece of bread, and I never knew where she was. And then she appeared again, drunk out of her mind, falling on the floor. And it happened again and again and again. I never knew where my father was. Those are deep, heavy, emotional things that we carry, and they drain the adrenals. They cause us to be in fight or flight mode all the time, pressing on the sympathetic nervous system, blocking us from relaxing, blocking the parasympathetic nervous system from good digestion and circulation and elimination, manifesting in all sorts of ways. Apathy, overexcitement, adrenaline junkies, rationalization of the brain, depression, anxiety. And what I'm asking you today is to start identifying, having a good look at yourself and writing down on the left-hand side of the page the no good stuff. Thanks for coming. As a result of that, this was my golden gift, and I'm taking this to the right-hand side of the page, and I'm going to explore this, manifest it, and enable it to take me to a high level. So we've literally, in an alchemical way, as quickly as this, we've shifted something from this side, which was no longer serving us, to something that is serving us. Could say the compost into gold. So all this compost is the fertilization of all the things that we needed to learn, our toolbox. We're moving into a much higher space now. Okay, so it's been asked of us all now to do this. And the more you do that, the higher your consciousness, the higher the consciousness of people around you, the higher your consciousness, the different kind of people you start attracting, the cleaner you're living, the breath goes to further places in your body, the clean out is more and more and more, and it just becomes like a roller coaster to a much higher level. We have to do the work. This is the point I'm making. We have to do the work. And that's why I'm asking you to do the work this evening. Okay. What you resist persists. So again, those issues, put them on the table, look at them from every angle, understand that it's not who did it, there's no blame, there's nothing about that. All right? That person might have been commissioned to do something for you to shift your soul, and all you've done is blame them your whole life. Oh my goodness, did we miss the point or not? So let's have a look at that, understand it, understand the gift, the meaning, what we were needed to take out of it, and forget about the people. You can give them the thanks back. So, you're lifting heavy boxes and you strain your back. How come 3 people were lifting the boxes, but only one got a strained back? What were you thinking? What was underneath? What was your thought process when you were moving, shifting the boxes, for example? So that's what this is all about. And what's underneath the strain? What's underneath the pain? Is it resentment? No one is helping you. You always do things yourself. And we talk the story. Our story comes, the gramophone long playing record starts kicking in. What's underneath that? It could be loneliness, longing for attention, care, fear of the future. Perhaps your inner child trying to prove how capable you really are. To parents who weren't paying attention, that little girl, that little boy. So let's get out of our story. Let's really mature now. And when we were little, that's true. We most often don't have the tools to cope. But now's the time. Now is the time. So let's get going. Let's get onto it and move. All right, it's easy to blame accidents for pain and blame an accident for pain. That's not true. All right, many people have accidents and come out fine. It's those that then hold onto that emotion where that pain in the back carries on. So we've got to find the inner pain and go and release it on the physical level, the inner emotional pain, basically. Resistance in life, meditation definitely helps. The more alkaline you are, the more pure you are, the more clean you are, the easier to meditate. You can be walking around in a 24/7 state of meditation, actually, when you're really pure and the oxygen and you're in equilibrium. We do need to surrender. We do need to accept. And we need the deep breathing in and out to assist us. Why do we breathe? And I think I've said this before. We are breathing to detoxify ourselves. Not because our lungs got to have breath, because if the lung doesn't have breath, we will die because of toxic overload in 3 minutes. That's how important each breath is. Because without the breath, we will build up toxins and die of the toxins. Right. So every breath counts. That breath has to get to every corner of our body, to every single cell. And the blood must be clean. It can't be clogged full of fat, clogged full of protein fibers, clogged full of cholesterol, plaque on the vessel walls, blocking the flow of the blood. Toxins, parasites sitting in the blood. Do you see? If that's happening and the blood's all sticky, how are you going to get the oxygen through? So get on the ground. The ground opens up the blood for you beautifully. It's free. Drink some water. Breathe. All of those things open up the blood immediately. Pain and inflammation go down. Okay, if you've got sore legs, sore knees or whatever, go and drink 3 liters of water over a 24-hour period. Most of the pain is going to go. It's because you're dehydrated. So we've got this little machine, which is us, and it needs water, air, sunshine, nourishment, good people, stimulation on all those levels I spoke to you about. Okay, so what we resist persists. Carl Jung. Let's find out some things about our body that we never knew. And this is where we bring our quantum medicine in. So we're going to have a little bit of fun now. And I've got a few screenshots here. And I want you to pay attention to this kind of a person, right? There's parasites growing inside them. There's an amoeba. There are bone problems. There is blood circulation problem. There is stress. The immune system is low. The adrenals are low. There's funguses, parasites, and also a respiratory problem. So here, you don't have to be any sort of physician. You can see exactly what's happening. We're not getting enough oxygen in. The person's stressed. There's emotional stress. The parasites have come to live because they found its home. There's acidity. And what we find happening there is that we start getting the shutdown I talked about. Blood pressure, blood sugar, sore bones, low immune system from the stress, and obviously the draw on the adrenals. Okay, so it's very easy. One doesn't have to be a physician to work this out. What we do here is everything has a value, so we rate it's rated for us, you see. And the top one I think is looks like 144 from here. In any case, that's out of 100, so that's the risk factor rating. All right, and the person's ability to cope with stress is over there on that scalar bar. We talked about scalar a bit earlier. The ability to adapt to stress, it's very bad if it's down there, it's extreme. Whereas over here, it would be easy to adapt to the stress. So this person is not adapting to stress, which means the stress is an ongoing. Sometimes they cope, sometimes they don't, this particular person. Oh, just let me go and see something back here. And you can see up here possible organs, the adrenals and also the brain. The occipital lobe at the back. Nearly every single COVID patient who's in ICU at the moment who comes to me has got occipital lobe issue. I don't know why. Something's happening at the occipital lobe at the back. All right, so here's also a very interesting slide too, because what you can see here is the adrenaline level. And you can see it's 207. That's 207 out of 100. That is extremely, extremely high. We also have an inflammation level there, prostaglandin level, 167 out of 100. The testosterone hormone level, 168, out of balance. Cortisol, 138, out of balance. Histamine, 90, not too bad, but a bit out of balance. Pineal pituitary hypothalamus, out of balance, 162. Emotional allergies, 184. That means they can hardly tolerate food because whatever they eat is causing an allergic, intolerant reaction because of emotions. And then the corticotrophin and the ACTH would be our ability to relax. And this person's not relaxed at all, completely fired up, living on the parasympathetic nervous system all the time. Again, you don't have to be a physician to work this one out. And here's some more figures. Growth hormone out of balance. And then you can have a look here as well. There's the serotonin, the happiness hormone, 187. There's the dopamine. This person is so stressed. The thyroid and the hormone levels, the dopamine levels, progesterone levels, testosterone levels in the male are going to be out of alignment. That's what stress does. And there's the oxytocin, the unloved, not bonding properly with the mother. So you can see here that, this is all causing, this adrenal insufficiency that we see. Okay, so keep filling up your page on the left and on the right. Here's our electromagnetic dashboard, really. The charge of the body, it started off at 36 and then went to 47 and then 57. Good. So we got quite a good result there. The brain amplitude, the neurotransmitters, 80s to 90s, that's good. The resistance to flow, and this is the most important one, and this is the toxicity level. Why we start with a reset at 365 Healthy by Choice, because we want to reset you first. We want to get the electrons flowing. All right, we want to be able to sweep with a broom and sweep all the old stuff out, so what's left behind is a beautiful energy. So that one is very, very important. And you can see here, this person actually lives in Israel, right? And you can see what happened. Actually, everything else was improving, but the toxicity levels were declining because of the toxicity levels in the country. And here's our hydration levels. We battled, we got it up to 86 at least. And here's the oxygen level, 68 up to 78. The cell vitality, 9 out of 10, perfect. The utilization of oxygen, these two. And the pH and so on. So you see how we've got a nice way of measuring exactly, where we are. And this one, here's another one, just to show you the last slide. So it's showing us, immunity dysfunction, emotional disorders, stress, circulation. So, at this stage, if I'm here and the people still haven't spoken to me about the emotional side, I'm not going to say to them, look, you know what, you need to speak to me or whatever. I'll have to dig deep sometimes. And then we get all sorts of other allergies and things happening. And we've got to get rid of the amoeba and so on. So I have to drill through sometimes and really get that emotion out. This is the device I'm speaking about. This is the quantum skier. All of this is available on my website. We've got a down payment lease option. But for those of you who are new, just to show you, and welcome as well. I'm just seeing you all. People from all over. Okay. This is the quantum device I'm speaking about, and we have a nice payment lease option on that right now. And then here we've got some practical steps to maximize your health. And most of these, now you can again start organizing the left-hand side and the right-hand side of your page and start pushing things over. Sleep well, sleep before 10 o'clock because of the serotonin, melatonin swap over. Melatonin allows us to rest, rejuvenate, restore the nervous system, and dream. Okay, so we go to bed too late, we don't get that. Sunshine, we talked about it too many times. The earthing energy, water, hydration, breathing, exercising, gets the blood flow, gets the oxygen to the cells, the waste removed, nutrition and detox. So there's a nice sort of list of also 10 points that you might want to put onto your right-hand side of your page. And here's another device that we use. It's really new for those of you who are new. This is our piezoelectric time crystal device, and made by Professor Desiree Dubonnet. And this is a scalar wave protection device, enabling people to think clearly, intelligently, calmly, happily, and consciously. So many people have already purchased their device, and I'm actually wearing mine right now, and don't take it off. And I'm getting really spontaneous healing in front of me in my center, and personally too. The minute I put this on, my pineal gland activated. I could feel it was the battery charged. In our pineal gland, we have little piezoelectric microcrystals as well, similar to what we have in here. And these have got a battery, so it has a life of about 300 years basically. But the minute my pineal gland was switched on properly, fully charged, that was when the consciousness, the happiness, the calmness, the clear decision-making, intelligent decision-making, things started to happen, and my life became more ordered. The pieces of the jigsaw puzzle actually fitted together even more than what I'd already achieved. So this is an heirloom piece, actually. You can leave it to your children and your children's children. And, you know, I think that's been one of my things I've needed to manifest and achieve, and my purpose is to leave a legacy where our children and our children's children can benefit at a much higher DNA level, a much higher emotional intelligence level, intellectual intelligence, consciousness, awareness space. So I'm delighted, because this is, you know, ask and you'll receive. So we have this beautiful device, and as I said to you, also available on the website. So everything I'm talking about now is available on the 365 Healthy by Choice website. So insofar as stress and happiness is concerned, I want to show you how we're operating. We're operating within a scalar wave, those of you who are new. So we're getting scalar wave waveforms, right? And we've got a golden mean traveling upwards and outwards, and we've got a golden mean opposite traveling downwards and outwards, the yin and the yang. And we are in doing this, connecting the left and the right brain. Remember, the pineal gland is in the brain, but not part of the brain. So we're activating the pineal gland, and we're balancing the left and the right hemispheres of the brain and the rest of the body, because every single cell is a scalar wave. Even the DNA is a scalar wave. So when we talk about charging the body, we talk about the frequency of the electron spin and the frequency of the scalar wave, how quickly it's spinning around the torsion field. So the torsion field is in the middle. I'll show you now. There's the pineal gland, just to show you. Right in the center of the brain, it's light sensitive. So your eyes will activate, sunlight will activate the pineal gland. Very, very important aspect of sunlight. And then here we have this vortex. This is the torsion field. So the more pure you are, the more conscious you are, the more happy you are, the more joyful you are, this spin is increased. And that spin, the yin and the yang spin. All right, so now more than ever before, I put there, we need this, because we need direction. Laser beam, sharp direction about where we're going, and we need to slough off the calcified tissue, the fatty material, the undigested protein, the muck, the parasites, the toxins. Out. No more time for this. So it's a free energy battery, which I've talked about, offering you a sustained scalar wave. So this vortex and the sustained scalar wave is 24/7. if you're wearing the pendant or it's near you. What a pleasure. And I mean, this is all from the Professor Desiree Dubonnet. We've actually got what we needed right now, right in front of us. And it's a once-off purchase. You don't have to renew it, recharge it, whatever. You have it. Once you have it, you have it. 24/7 sustained scalar wave. I don't know. To me, it's a no-brainer. Some of the nutrients, okay? So 365 Healthy by Choice is designed around life force nutrients, nutrients that are nature made. All right, full of the life force, full of the DNA and the intelligence of the plant, all intact exactly as the universe intended. And this is true. Food is medicine. All right, it's a cut above the average lettuce and tomatoes and things. What am I talking about? I'm talking about our detoxification herbs. I'm talking about our almas. I'm talking about our microbiome reset. The probiotic. I'm talking about the zeolite, the paramagnetic products. I'm talking about the stress defense shield, the brain fuel, the extreme performance, over 30 nutrient dense foods, life force, neg entropy. I'm talking about food, proper food, energetic food that's going to charge my battery. All right, so I've been doing this for a very long time now and marketing these products for a very long time now as well. And those doctors and health practitioners and individuals that have walked this journey with me know they've transformed themselves even before the quantum skewer, before the time crystal device. I'm just saying these products have been on the earth or come into the earth sphere for a very, 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 very long time. They have eons of DNA inside them. Huge ability to educate the body. Intelligence we don't know. So then why do we not do an assessment? Why do we effectively treat someone and almost guess what's wrong with them and work in a reductionist way? Oh, we'll fix your thyroid, don't worry. And when that medicine starts affecting your kidneys, we'll give you another drug. And when that starts affecting your liver, we'll give you another drug. And before you know it, you've got a prescription this big. I saw it. When I was studying pharmacy, I worked in pharmacies and I saw what was happening and I knew there was a better way. So I have my own pharmacy, all right, and it's filled with nutrient-dense food and herbs to detox and alchemical products, etc. So this is the basis of how we use food as medicine successfully. Our case studies precede us. So just bear with me, those of you who know the product. We've got these products with over 30 high vibrational, nutrient-dense life force foods. And I mean, just to show you some of the foods, you see I've made reference to lots of them. There's adaptogenic herbs, also things to kill bacteria and fungi, aromatase inhibitors, medicinal mushrooms, algae, hemp seed, raw cacao, etc., etc. So we've put everything in there, which makes it really easy, and we get our nutrients. We've got our almost gold with alchemy. This is the one that's a capacitor that raises our charge. We've got stress defense shield, that powder also in a capsule. We've got a stress adaptogens only, which are already in there anyway. We've got replica RNA DNA, which is the 5 nucleopeptides for the DNA strand and the RNA strand, and for cell division and for repair and rejuvenation of the body. And remember that radiation and toxins will damage the RNA and the DNA strand in the body, and we need the building blocks to rebuild it. So we'll wrongly coded spike proteins. With the cell oxygen capsule I spoke about, and there's the super cell oxygen, the herbal product with ginseng, Siberian ginseng, cordyceps, bacopa, gochicola, those kind of products in it. So there's no excuse after listening to Jane live, because here is where I give it all to you. Male and female hormone balancing. You saw before, the hormones get affected. Adrenal glands are directly affected by the hormones, which is affected by the neurological system, the nervous system. The liver needs to be clear so that the hormones can re-establish themselves. And we've got adaptogenic herbs in all of these products too to reduce stress. So everything's very clearly and cleverly thought out. We've got some boxes, a brain fuel box, which has got ormus in it. It's got oxygen drops. It's got a parasite cleanse. And it's also got a blood cleanse. Very important. Flaxseed oil, our number one oil, cold pressed. Builds the cell membrane. Some more stress adaptogens. I haven't talked about Mucuna bean, an absolutely wonderful, wonderful, wonderful stress adaptogen used more and more and more by our practitioners, especially for nerve ending rejuvenation, especially after chemotherapy, radiation, etc. Libido, muscle building, lactation. It actually is L-dopamine. It is a precursor to dopamine. And we've seen what stress does to dopamine levels, just knocks it flat. That is our willpower to do things. If we don't have a willpower, these to-do lists that you're making now are not going to happen. They're not going to be manifested. So we need dopamine. As I say, easy when you know how, hey? All right, let's have a look here. Some of our oxygen products. And oxygen is always king. We've got oxygen drops, that's the chlorine dioxide, magnesium dioxide there, and the supercell oxygen again. So there's no excuse. These are antioxidants, and this will be an oxidant that helps utilization of oxygen. And then here's a great one as well. This is really showing us the scalar wave torsion field. So we're walking around in this field already. So when you are using something like a time crystal device, okay, that we have here, you can imagine how the magnitude now of the scalar wave, the 24/7, is reaching out further. The scalar wave will fill a room, for example. And then you're walking around with this torsion field permanently, with your vortex spinning permanently, and you're warding off negative aberrant forces, whatever they may be, in the form of physical, form of a thought, form of an emotion, form of a spiritual, whatever it might be. You're warding it off 24/7. I just love that. I love it. I've got my earthing mat. I'm warding off radiation. I've got these these devices that are warding off radiation as well. And we're busy collecting data, and all of it is recorded. It's measured by the quantum devices, which are FDA approved, validated, verified, etc. And these devices, by the way, can measure the visible and the invisible. And what I mean by that is it's quite a lot easier to measure an up and down waveform, a linear form of a wave. It's much easier to measure voltage, you can measure and so on, but a scalar wave, you actually need a very specific scientific device to do that, and there is only one. Sorry, but there's only one, and there is only one of these. So do your research. I'm telling you, there's only one, and it's made by the only one too, the source. And I'm sticking with that. That is absolutely how it is. So we need to go with that. So here's our torsion field, and this is what's happening, because this is how we heal people with our devices. I see it straight away, and we can measure the charge of the body. So the charge of the body is related to the scalar wave torsion field. And by the way, if anyone has read anything about Rupert Sheldrake, Lynn McTaggart, they talk about the field, the morphogenic field. In the morphogenic field is the scalar wave, it's the quantum. It's where we come from. So when we leave this physical body, we're automatically anyway in a scalar form. So this body, it's our temple. We need to do whatever we can to keep this physical form in the best possible scalar wave frequency as possible, and not have dents in it and shifts and things. We need to have it intact so that we can really be suspended and operate in the way we need to, and be flexible, and empty out all the nonsense and retain all the vibrance, so that we can just achieve higher and higher and higher levels of, well, evolution, if you like. And now I went and knocked the Facebook people. Sorry. Oh, see what happened there. Okay, so how are we doing? We're nearly through, and thank you for your time. I've really studied this for years, so it's something that I've really focused on. This, in fact, is the last slide I wanted to share with you. Okay, the website, the shop, where you can buy directly online. You can buy your devices, you can buy your Almost Gold, you can buy your microbiome reset, your cell vitality drops, your flaxseed oil, your replica RNA, DNA, your active stem cells, your hormone replacement, your supercell oxygen, whatever you need. You can also buy a consultation, right? So a consultation will get you either a quantum skio eductor QUEX assessment or the Q450 assessment. You can go and see. You can buy it on there. You can buy courses for the immune university. You can buy the QUX device on there. Speak to me. You can get what you want there in terms of everything I've spoken about. So go and have a look. There's courses as well. We have a lovely, lovely affiliate program where whereby you can operate as an affiliate. You can also refer people and join a few levels underneath you as well. So really, really nice if you want to start your business and start really being a case study. We want affiliates who are case studies, who can walk their talk, who can speak with authenticity. Because actually at the end of the day, we all really need to come back to a central point of authenticity, truth, our organic true selves. We need to get back to that point, and to do that, we need to get the energy right. Okay, our electron spin and get that whole wheel in alignment and work on the weak areas. So on your right-hand side, you're going to put what you're aiming to achieve and what you're taking with you. All right. Okay, so we've got a nice business opportunity there. We've got practitioners, we've got branches. So anybody can come in and train and be part of the action as well, and be part of the miracle medicine. This show's about miracle medicine. And we had a massive, massive improvement. This week there was a girl we were working on with a huge, huge, huge lymphoma mass in her stomach. Huge, so huge, and we brought it down. We got it to a point, and I wasn't part of this part of the decision, but they decided to operate and remove it. 19-year-old girl, and they removed it. She's in a general ward. She's doing fantastically, but we gave her that start. We charged her up. So her adrenals, her stress levels were down. The cell vitality was up. We boosted her, so she had the best chance of getting this mass removed. And sometimes it's a good idea. In any case, it was all perfect, and we have a really healthy, beautiful case study, a girl who's 19 years old, and we can be very grateful for her recovery. So that's what you kind of start sharing into when you're part of the 365 Healthy by Choice practitioner or branch. You start making the miracles happen too, which is just my best, okay? And you raise your consciousness in doing that. And then those people who want to buy in bulk and sell on perfect too, you can do that as well. So you can work out for yourself, where you want to be. You want to be affiliate and a practitioner, and you want to buy bulk, that's fine. There's options for you on the website, on the 365 Healthy by Choice website. So, what's really left for me to say is to just draw a conclusion here. We don't have to be emotionally stressed and unhappy. We don't have to lick those wounds forever. We have a choice, and we can, as I said to you, surrender to them, put them over there, put the movie up, and be completely detached about it. What is the message? What was I supposed to learn out of this? Thank you. Thank you for the gold. Move the gold over onto the other page. The resilience, for example. Able to stand up on my own, able to interact with all sorts of people. What was that gift that you got? And that is the gift. That's the seed. We want to work on our gifts. That's going to propel you into the next level. And there will be another challenge there. I can tell you that around the corner, there'll be another one, but you're going to look at it differently now. you're going to say, what was I supposed to learn? Because then we stop the patterns and we don't have to repeat and repeat. And we learn from the event. We don't have to repeat the patterns again and again and have things get worse and worse and worse. You see? So that's really what I want to leave with you. Happiness is at anyone's reach. It's right there, and it's an internal thing. It's looking at a glass and deciding, is it half full or half empty? Is your life half full or half empty? Are you missing things? Are you greedy? Are you desiring things of other people? Are you jealous of other people? Or are you absolutely 100% content with what you have and who you are? I don't think I want to get into anyone else's body. I don't. I know what my stuff is. I know what I've got to do, and I'm going to do it. And we're all unique and we're all different. And I know where my answers are. They're inside me. They are inside me when I connect with the universe and when I'm thinking clearly and hydrating myself. I'm needing water. I've got a huge jug this size. And that's what I drink. And there's a tiny, tiny bit left, and I need to go and get some more. But anyway, you know what, guys? As usual, I've given it my best shot. I've hopefully really stimulated you to move to your next level, whatever that is. And when you get there, you celebrate. You take every opportunity to celebrate. Wow, I climbed that huge step. And you do something amazing. It can be anything what you choose, connecting with nature, whatever you're wanting to do, whatever you want to celebrate, playing beautiful music. And Dipti's talking about her pages. And actually this idea comes from Dipti. And Dipti started this at the beginning of this year, the beginning of 2021. And I had the honor of being present at her New Year's Eve celebration. And she spoke about getting the pens out and also for this year, writing what you were leaving behind and what you were taking with you. So this idea has grown and grown and grown. And, well, Dipti, just to say, I've used it with so many people, and it's such a simple technique, but wow, so powerful. And often many of these techniques are so powerful. You know, these days you don't have to sit in a 2-day seminar to learn these things. You get given it straight away. So thanks, Dipti, for starting all of this, as you always do. And nice to have all of you here too, Ham. Thank you too, guys. So we're all part of raising each other's consciousness. And this is just the most dynamic group to be part of. And, you know, it's just totally vibrant and just such a pleasure to be here and now in this space. And to have the clear vision and, you know, to have the awareness to discern between deception, distortion, lies, distraction. And you stay centered in this eye of the storm. Because remember, the eye of the storm is also, in fact, a spin. It's also spinning. So when it's a storm, you want to be in the center of that spin. That your torsion field needs to be solid. It can't be wavering. So you anchor yourself. And that's what getting on the ground and the sun and nature and that help us ground. Hug the tree. It grounds you. All right, and then you step out from there. And to all the lovely Facebook people, thank you for joining us too. And there's going to be much more. Things you want to know, topics you want discussed, please let me know. Those of you who want to dig a bit deeper and say, Jane, you know what, gosh, this emotional experience was just actually too much for me, and I need a little bit of a catalyst. I need a little bit of, you know, coaching, if you like, a little bit of assistance to take the next level. You know, we're here for you. So anything more, lots and lots on the website. Oh, what have I done? and you can, educate yourself there too. Good. So have a wonderful rest of the day. Keep these pieces of paper, and you can, cross out and add and cross out and add. I like to have mine near me so that I can, wow, I learned that. I'm not going to do that again, onto the left-hand side. It's just a reinforcement of achieving our purposes. Those people who think they're blocked, they haven't found their purpose, they're still a bit confused, come, we're waiting for you. Another one cleaned, another one purified, another one purified, and we go through a reset, a restore, and a rejuvenate. And it all ties up. Okay, and every single person detoxifies and cleans, and every single person's experience is unique to them. And it's absolutely beautiful when people walk in. I press the record before they're in the room, because they're going to start telling me. And you can't repeat it. You can't repeat that excitement. Some people just need someone to tell them to get on with it. Just get on with it. They say, okay, fine, Jamie. Anyway, I love you all, and all the very best for the rest of the day. Bye.